Ski YouTube, it's your boy Black Uchiha 3, and we are back, still black, with some more fire Boruto manga related content. Now, before we get into the video, you already know the dealio. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button, and let's get to it. Yes, Sirski.
One chili cost them to the power of 3, and there's nothing I can't cut.
Okay, so Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 30 gave us a lot, right? And one of those moments that they gave us early on was showing us how far in development Himawari has come, not just in power, but also in terms of battle experience, battle IQ, and a lot of controversy, especially regarding around this guy Shikadai and his consoling, or correcting Himawari in her very much needed correction in her mistake when she damn near blew up the entire block of the village by almost shooting a Bizu bomb on ground territory. Not only that, but then 6 feet behind you got other civilians, and civilians more than likely all around the entire vicinity. So I'm not here to talk about the fake fans that are genuinely mad because Shikadai decided to scold Himawari. Like, I don't know what's going on through those people's heads, right? But from the fact that she almost killed literally everybody in that vicinity, she definitely needed to get a straightening. She needed to get a talking to. And Shikadai, if we're being honest, granted, given in the heat of the moment in the situation, he probably didn't even emphasize enough how much of a serious situation that was, because Himawari could have had blood on her hands, right? But that aside, all of that aside, we see the power is there, the experience is lacking, the IQ is lacking, the confidence is a little shaky, but definitely can be, turned up a couple of notches. So we have a lot of development and room to grow for this character, Himawari, but what are we actually planning to do, right? Because in part 1, we've seen answers are getting thrown into our faces from questions that we've been having, like, well, what is Himawari going to be doing? Will she ever become a ninja? Will we ever see the locked on mode again? What was that stuff Damon was sensing? And coming into 2 Blue Vortex, we see, well, she's basically the Gohan of this story. She has purely raw, untapped potential, and it's just sitting there lying dormant within her. And her compatibility with Kurama, the Nine-Tails Fox Jinchuriki, is so out of this world. Kurama not only has never seen this before, but never has had a predecessor be this compatible and in sync with his chakra ever in his life. And that's within the same life, including this guy, the man of all mans, the legends of legends, the myths of all myths, Naruto Uzumaki, right? She surpasses Naruto. She surpasses her father in terms of compatibility and synchronization when it comes to Kurama. So therefore, her ceiling with Kurama's chakra is much higher, and we see this in cases where her natural form is already different. We don't see no cloaks. Granted, we have seen some training, but would there be even more training that she undergoes that will allow her to develop these cloaks? I personally think that this current transformation we see her undergo is perfect as is. The only thing that we can add to her is better control of her power, perhaps more control over her hair limbs. Maybe her hair can grow or shorten, basically using them as chakra. Instead of gaining chakra arms like we see Naruto do, Himawari can basically do all those things with her hair. Not necessarily having some type of hair jutsu, but because of Kurama's chakra and because of the way she's utilizing it, her hair can stretch out like tails and use it to grab things, hold things, mold things, or even use it to tie and restrain things, right? Just simple things like that. But the biggest difference that I want to see is her Byakugan activated. I don't want to see that being taken away from her. When it comes to the Uzumaki siblings, with the exclusion of Kawaki, I need their dojutsus to finally awaken. I need Boruto's Jogan, and I want Himawari's locked on Byakugan. But with all of this stuff being built up for Himawari, right? And then we see the little mishap here in her Mamushi fight. I believe with all my heart and soul, the build up for this character, the most important thing for this character to do within this story in terms of battle and battle importance, right, will be to defeat and battle Jura one more time. In a world where we have all of this crazy nonsense going on, in a world where in 9 times out of 10 futures, Jura kills Boruto, and in that one future, Boruto needs to be alive for Jura's defeat to occur. I've already talked about this in previous videos. It's never been stated that Boruto has to be the one to kill you know what I'm saying, this guy Jura. And I also expressed my belief and thoughts on, I do think that the next fight with Jura in terms of like a main battle will be against this guy Kawaki. However, the possibility also arises for the main battle to possibly be against this girl Himawari. Now, to save y'all from the luxury of reiterating a lot of the points I made in my previous videos, I will basically just to sum it up, right? Boruto has been put in a great position to eventually lead up to his first official and real battle against Momoshiki, his own personal boss battle. Kawaki has been built up, as I stated in the previous videos, right, to have his official boss battle against this guy, possibly, you know what I'm saying, this guy Jura. But we understand the implications of, oh, Kawaki versus Momoshiki Part 2 has been thrown in our faces time and time again, yet we also have to understand subversion of expectations that also been a thing, and we know Ikimoto is not afraid to definitely do that and drive us in a whole entire different direction. So as far as Kawaki's case, I don't believe we might see him fight Momoshiki again, just as I don't believe we might see Boruto fight Jura again. I believe respectively so. It could be a Boruto versus Momoshiki fight and simultaneously a Kawaki possibly versus a Jura fight. But for the sake of this video, since we're talking about the star in Himawari, Kawaki also has, aside from Jura, another big bad. If you think about it, Kawaki can be placed in a major confrontation against Momoshiki, against Jura, but also against another character that I believe a lot of people overlooked, that being in this guy, Code. We know they have history. Now it gets a little complicated and gray area because of omnipotence. However, a final confrontation, a final battle, basically Kawaki being the one to kill Code off permanently for good in the story, will do much for both characters, especially in a world where Code actually remembers Kawaki is the kid that he grew up with and the kid that he grew up hating because he didn't want to become the vessel for Ishiki Otsutsuki, as opposed to Code dreaming for the day that he could become a pure and proper vessel for this guy Ishiki. Now we go all the way to Himawari, is left by herself. Well, if Jura isn't going to fight Boruto, if Jura isn't going to fight Kawaki, who else would he fight? The very first person we've seen that allowed Jura to give us a taste of what he's actually capable of being in Himawari, he shot this girl about 5 times in the stomach just to see what his Bijou bombs can do to her, right? They showcase all of these different new elements in that battle, right? But also what's most important was in that battle was for the first time, not in a long time, but the first time in her life, Himawari decided to make a sacrifice for those she believed or for those she valued truly within her life. She told Team 10 to escape, and she understood the severity of the situation they were in. Well, we're outside of the village. If he's only after me and we can't destroy the village, shouldn't I just stay here? And since I awaken this power, I can stand some kind of chance as opposed to you guys. And plus, Inoja's injured. Get out of here, right? Himawari really channeled her inner Naruto energy during that fight. And it's not gonna be one of those things where Jura's gonna end up getting defeated by Boruto or Kawaki before we get to see him box with Himawari again. I believe that is going to be her main big bag. I believe that we can see a potential fight where a Jura goes not necessarily all out, but he goes all out to an extent where a Himawari battle against him, both of them lost rage, lost full control of power, might be high diff, and there might be some type of inclusion with possibly a Boruto or a Kawaki character added towards the end, or even perhaps mayhaps like someone like Delta or someone like Asarada to help Himawari, because I do want both Boruto and Kawaki to have their own respective big boss battles against their own separate opponents. So I think a one-on-one solely for Code and Kawaki and solely for Momoshiki and Boruto will work. But simultaneously at the same time, either a one-on-one for Himawari and Jura, or they can have a nice little 3 or a 2v1 where Himawari takes the helm just solely because of the connection that her and Jura have. Jura is after her and he's after her dad, and he's using the Nine Tails as a connection to link the two cases together. So Himawari has all of the incentives within the story and personal reasons as well, because of the last beatdown she got from Jura, to not only want to get stronger, but also be the one to actually finally take down this guy Jura. So that's really what I wanted to present to you guys within this video. All of the facts and all of the points in the story completely directing us towards this outcome, right? Imagine an arc, right? Going inside like our Jujutsu Kaisen type of style, right? Instead of each arc one major big boss battle, imagine we get a future arc in the near future, in the far future within Two Blue Vortex, where simultaneously we got Code versus Kawaki. We got Momoshiki fighting Boruto, whether it's in a Psyche or some Ninja Jesus chakra mumbo jumbo where their bodies separated. Either way, Momoshiki versus Boruto. And then we got Himawari versus this guy Jura, or Himawari and Sarada, or Himawari Sarada and Delta versus this guy Jura. Don't you think that would be crazy? Obviously, in the likes of case where Jura would have to be the last Shinju standing, it would have to be a situation where if Sarada is assisting Himawari, that means the Sarada versus Hidari battle had to have already occurred. Yet still, I believe, rightfully so, Jura could be built up to not just be the main antagonist for Boruto, Naruto's first official born son, or Kawaki and Naruto's adopted official son, but rather Naruto's first and only daughter in Himawari Uzumaki. So let me know how y'all feel about it. Let me know what your thoughts would be if this would be the case. You already know how I would feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Himawari is probably down 0-1, but the next time they come up, she's winning the series 4-1 gentleman sweep. What are y'all talking about? Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Black Chat 3. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Long face, skinny body, holla at your boy. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Black Chat out. Yes, sir.